At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Just love looking at my guest's face when I say rational thoughts. I don't know. Hey, listen, folks, I've got a very fun show today because this is near and dear to my heart. We're going to talk about something that's very unusual, or maybe it's not usual in our world, but for most people it is. Most people, when they hit this golden age of 60s, they think, oh, retirement, my best years are behind me, all this stuff, looking forward to grandkids, nothing wrong with that. But we tend to sometimes think, you know what? That was my peak at 45, 55. Now I'm on my backside of my life, my career, my energy. Nothing could be further from the truth. We're going to talk about something very, very disruptive in your mindset and go much deeper than that with our guest today. So I'm going to talk about this topic quite a bit. But first, let's talk about the man and how he got here. Welcome to the show today, Mr. Peter Dickinson. Peter, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Doug. And thank you so much for having me on the show. Unbelievable.
You bet. I can't wait to talk more about
pleasure.
this. Yeah. You've got a great book coming out about, or is already out about this topic. Before we get into thriving or thrive after 60, I want to talk about you because I'm just guessing this is we always say the book you most need to read is the one you should probably write. So I'm going to talk to you more about you and your background, and then we'll get into your book and how the viewers, no matter if you're in the 60s, you're going to love this show. If you're not, just watch it anyway or save it because you'll be 60 someday. If you're 70, it still applies. No matter where you are, this is going to help you out. So, Peter, a little about you before we got into the space of helping people our age. I want to hear about your background and how your life went. And in a couple minutes, don't take too long, but give me the past few years.
The good news is, Doug, it's all in there.
Great.
Because I've even used myself as the poster boy.
I see that, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Couldn't get a more handsome guy, so I just used myself, sorry. No, it was because I wanted to be the poster boy because the background I had, you would never believe I got to where I am today. I still can't believe it. But it was from a very poor beginning and then making my way through life in a very, very difficult early start. And I mention this not because I want to be glorified. There are millions of people who have tough starts at the start of their life, and I'm saying, hey guys and girls, we can do this. And so I got out of the place I was in by using a mentor. I described that in the book.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to interrupt you because we're going to get to that stuff in a minute. You know what I want to hear about. I want to set this up, my friend. You talk about, I had a hard life. Everyone has stories and journeys and things that have tripped them up. Yours is up there, man. It's in the top 25 of stories I've heard. So if you're okay with sharing it, okay. I want to hear about the background, not the solution. I want to hear about where you came from and some of those big dips in your life, which telling you it gives people great context and they go, holy crap, if he can get through that, I can get through whatever they're going through.
Wow.
So if you're open to share that.
You're a tough host, Doug. But
no. This is good stuff. It's gonna make a much better show. Trust me.
Yeah, I was going off the rails at about 14. Alcoholic father. Everything was disruptive at home. And by 14, I got into alcohol. By 16, I was into hallucinogenic drugs, and so just anything that I could use to switch off, to get out of that, to numb the pain. And by 18, because of that path I'd chosen, I was in prison, and I spent some time there at Her Majesty's pleasure to make me just sit and think.
Her Majesty's pleasure. How many years did you do?
I only did a matter of months. I was in a young offenders institute at age 18. It was tough though. Yeah.
Was it for abuse or dealing? What did you get?
No, abuse. Abuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you said it was a tough in the joint, or Her Majesty's pleasure.
Yeah.
What's a UK prison?
It was like in those days, it was an army boot camp type thing. We wore a uniform with boots and we marched, and I served time in the kitchen. But we were physically hit every day. I was used to that. I was getting that at home. So that was okay. The authorities sanctioned that sort of thing for the sorts of boys I was with. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went in a drug abuse world and came out knowing how to break into homes, knowing how to break into cars.
You learned some good skills in the joint.
Yeah. Some lifelong friends made. So yeah, and came out of that and thought I need to find some mentor, some guide, something. I couldn't use my father, and I used my sister's boyfriend. He became my... So they got married. She was young, and in the book I coined brother in love, and he was a person that I aspired to be, and I think that's the message I have for everybody in that.
Yeah, we're gonna slow down a little bit because this is so fascinating me about someone who, young kid, did drugs, went to jail for it, prison, and then you learned skills there from the other guys, I'm sure. So did you go right? Go, I'm never doing that again. Did you write the mentor, or did you how fast the transformation from?
I would say it was a matter of months. I came out and I looked around and thought, yeah, I need to sort my life out. I'm 18.
Okay. So there was no doubt or gray area. It was a light switch for you.
Yeah, when you spend time, there's a lot of time thinking, lived in a bunk in prison.
Yeah.
You get to dwell on what you've done and what you want to do. And for me, it was, I need somebody to hook my hopes onto, my aspirations.
How did you know you needed a mentor, someone? How come you didn't use, what was the...
I don't know. I just looked around and I thought, who am I looking at? Who am I basing my life on?
Yeah.
Hey, alcohol. That was the key opener for me. That was my entry drug.
Did you, did you, if you don't mind me asking, did you say, oh, was I addicted to this stuff, or just for fun you could easily stop using it?
Yeah, I would say I was a weekend hippie. I would say it was a Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, okay.
Thing.
So it wasn't like I'm an alcoholic, I got to go into rehab too. I'm just going to stop being a bad boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a common sense thing. You just wake up.
I'd love to see pictures of you when you were a bad boy. You're such a proper English gentleman now. It's just hard to imagine you as a hippie guy, but
Yeah.
Show me pictures later. Okay, so you had this time. Obviously, in the UK system, it worked. It snapped you out of a path that could have been bad.
Yeah.
You said to yourself, "I need a mentor," and now you talk to your sister's boyfriend. Now we've got the setup, and now we can talk about between 18 and 60, I guess.
Yeah. So my sister's husband, as he came out to be, was an electrician, and he joined the Merchant Navy, which meant he travelled the world. And I thought, that's it. Electricity. I got into electronics. At first, the only jobs you get in electronics is fixing TVs, radios, hi-fi systems, which was great. But then I chose a path in computers. In 1976, I joined ICL, International Computers Limited. Our biggest competitor in the world was IBM, so that shows you who we were. We were the UK equivalent of IBM. And they took me around the world. So I got that wish. My first posting was in the Middle East, and then into the centre of Europe, where I was seconded into the British Army, and then into America, where I lived in Des Moines, Iowa, which was beautiful. A place to grow. It really is.
I know my brother went to school at there, so I've been there several times. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Highest literacy rate in the country is Des Moines, by the way.
Yeah, I believe it. And then I came back and moved into sales. So I was still with ICL, but I didn't want to be fixing the kit anymore. So I went around the world then, international sales. My largest client was DuPont. So I had to go to Wilmington a number of times. Excuse me. I'm just getting over a man flu here at this end, and I'm struggling to stave off this cough, so you have to excuse me. And then in 2005, I struck out on my own. I was in sales with a 20 million annual target. This was me, not a team target, that was my target. It was tough. I was selling into banks. And I thought, there's got to be an easier life than this. And so I struck out on my own as a business consultant. I've travelled the world. I've done all sorts of things. And then I changed my whole profile and became a high growth consultant, only dealing with small businesses that wanted to rocket fuel. And that was a different world. Then about 3 years ago, I went on a retreat and had a bit of an awakening.
Yes.
Which was, excuse me, I can't describe it. I tried to describe it in the book, but
I can help a little bit just from my perspective, because I was on that retreat with you, number one, and I've tried meditating in the past dozens of times with half a dozen different people, some of them professionals doing really well, and my monkey mind would always fly away. I could never really get into that state. And I was there with you, and boy, I'm not going to talk too much in terms of details here, but it was a very thorough, and it worked for me as well. Not to your level, of course, but it was like probably one of my best meditation sessions of my life.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you had a big shift in your world on this. So.
Yeah, it was a massive shift. I saw things. You can imagine how long it was as well. The meditation isn't long, but I saw things that were just amazing to me. Just
without drugs.
Yeah, I never got.
Yeah,
never got that sort of. The feeling was just love, kindness, support, light, and I knew. Actually, it struck me that this is life. This is how we should be living in this wonderful world, and I didn't want to go back to the other life, to the normality that we're in now. I had a small window where I saw and felt things that I knew were absolutely what we should all be doing, all connected to one.
Small window? I mean, like opportunity or
no?
Time, or what was the...
No, I mean the duration was only a matter of minutes.
Right.
In the meditation, but what I saw and felt went on right throughout the universe. I just felt
wow.
I was just connected to every single thing, which is quite reasonable given that we're all made of stars, we're all made of the same thing, and therefore I was connected to every living thing on the planet. This sounds like I am on hallucinogenic drugs.
No, it's so woo-woo, but go ahead, man. You just got to do what you're going to do. It's fine, yeah.
I had to live through this. I had this experience, and I thought, wow, what has that? And I started to read on it afterwards. I started to read about other people's experiences and other scientists and doctors, and I started to think, wow, this needs more work. And so I started to pursue that every day. Now I meditate every day. I've never had that instance again, but I know now I'm on a path, on a journey, and it feels right.
Yeah, there's anybody who's tried to meditate before. I mean, I can't do it without help. And I had a live guided meditation with you at that point, Peter. I've tried some recorded ones, which kind of work okay. But if you don't get in that state of really emptying your mind, nothing good's going to get in there. It's just going to be bouncing and skipping along the surface of what's possible. So I commend you for getting deep in there and having it make a transformation for real without having to keep doing it every day. That's amazing that it really like, hey, this is the way to go. That's powerful. So what was the you talk the Thrive at 60? Let's get right to the 60 thing now. So you're at this point. Did you share some of my things I said at the beginning of the show? Like, hey, I'm in my 60s. Things are like, and all of a sudden, the Thrive thing came to be. Tell me about the impetus for this new journey with yourself and the book and everything.
It's about giving back. I've always been a person that's wanted to help. You mentioned this in your introduction. I don't know, there's something in me that feels like I'm here to serve. I don't know, I can't describe it any different to that. And that made me think, how can I help? Yeah. So I got to age 69 when I started writing the book, and I thought, I've had a tough journey, but I've also discovered a new lease of life at this age that's taking me into masses of different areas. And so I'd like to be able to write about that and help share that. So that's why I started to talk about, look, at first, let me introduce you to what it's like. If we're not careful, we, collectively, we're at this age, we all get greyed out, literally.
Yes.
We become invisible. In a supermarket, in a line, they just walk in front of you, they will, and I just think, what on earth is wrong with the people? But you don't need to be greyed out. You can still be somebody. You can still be that person that you were, still be yourself and carry that forward.
Right.
I then say, it's not true that we don't need to sit back. We can be something. We can change our lives. And I want to give you help on physical exercise. I want to give you help on staying mentally able. I want to give you help on staying wealthy. But fundamentally, all of these things, there's one underlying current in every single chapter in the book, and that is the realization that we make our own reality. Now, we say this, don't we? We say, come on, son, you're in charge of your own destiny. We say that. But I mean, I felt it at a very, very visceral, real level. that said to me, "You're creating this. Everything that you're doing."
You know, some of the things I've been reading lately or listening to, it's one of my good friends, Lee, told me this years ago, and I don't forget how he described it. He said, you know, when you have this desire and wanting and chasing, that just pushes things away from you. He
Exactly.
says, you got to be just let it come. Like, I said, what? Tell me more about that. Because, well, think about a chair, a wooden chair. He says, the chair is already there. All we're doing is carving out the stuff that's not a chair, and there it is. It's already in existence. The money that people want, it's already been printed. It's just not your account yet. So it's already there. Nothing to create or chase or desire. You just got to follow this book, I think, and get it going for yourself.
From the moment they were born, we start to create our own reality. Mm-hmm. You watch babies and they're stretching out for things because they believe that they're connected to everything. They actually are. And they don't know where their fingertips end, their self ends, and where the rest of the universe continues from that. They have no idea. And so they're always out there. And from that, I started to think, we are creating this reality all the time. This is just, we just need to think about harnessing what we're doing right now is we're creating in lots of people's lives a negative or something that's poverty or illness or loneliness. And then we look around for who can we blame. That's my ex-wife's problem. That's my boss's problem. And that's not it at all. We have to look in. We are creating it. We are doing it to ourselves. Mm-hmm. And once you realize that, you start to change the way you talk, change the way you think, change the way you interact with people. And you're right. Your point is very valid. It's not about it's going to come tomorrow. It's actually, it's here. All I have to do is draw it towards me. Mm-hmm, yeah. And I talk about the manifestation process in the book. Mm-hmm. And I give somebody, if somebody wants to follow that guide, it's just a 30-day thing. It's one method. Just as meditation, the method I use is one method. The manifestation method that I talk about in the book is another method. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have done manifestation.
Yeah.
But
you
we're
know,
all...
Go ahead.
Sorry, Doug, sorry. I don't want to get away from the fact that we're all making it all the time.
Yeah.
Station isn't something that you do on a Monday and then you're actually manifesting everything in your life all the time. That's my point.
Yeah.
When you focus, absolutely focus on something, and you tell yourself that you already have it, that's when it happens.
Yeah.
Might take a week.
Right, that makes sense. Right. See, you're manifesting positive, negative, or empty, but it is up to you for sure. I like that. And not to get too woo here, but it is. I mean, anybody who's really studies physics and whatnot realizes these are not theories anymore. There's quantum mechanics and the things in play where things are definitely there's more that we can't see than we can see. So as soon as you understand that, accept it, you're gonna be on the right track. Give me some things from the book itself that someone could, from watching this show right now, could say, do one small thing to make a little shift in their life.
Wow. I think the biggest trigger for any improvement in any aspect of anybody's life is understanding that we are creating our own reality. I think that's the biggest thing. Now, I appreciate, because I also was that person before my awakening and before they wrote the book, and I was that person then. So when I say these things, I appreciate how hard they are to grasp and understand. But really, the fundamental message is you are creating your own reality. Be very careful what you say, what you think. It's all about emotions, and we can feel sick and make ourselves sick. We can feel lonely and make ourselves lonely. We can feel rich and make ourselves wealthy. It's how you're feeling. That's how the system works. It's just phenomenal.
For someone who's, especially in your category here, the Thrive After 60, there's some people, they've been beat up their entire life. And you come at them with something brand spanking new to them, there's a learning curve, there's a delay, there's time for it to percolate in their head. Is there a step one for someone before they get the book, what they should? Is there one small action they could take or thought or acts of service, whatever it is, to show them, hey, Peter's just not making this up. This actually works. Just give one small thing they can say, do, or think.
Positivity, then. Now, I'm speaking to somebody in the United States, and you guys are world-renowned for your positivity, but a lot of people in England can talk themselves into bad things, and a lot of people in a lot of countries can. And I think if you just wanted a quick, what's one quick pep talk I can give, a shot in the arm for today, it would be change your emotions and change your mindset into one of positivity and abundance. It's quite simple to do. I know you're going to think, no, it's all right for you to say that, but it's not. It's if I can do it, and this is the point about me making me the poster boy, if I can do it, everybody can do it. We're all doing it anyway. Why not turn it into positive? If you look at I've got a chronic illness, I've got whatever it is that you're thinking of in your life, once you're aware that you've created that anyway, you can be the undoing of your disaster.
Oh my gosh. I've done so many books for people who've, one of my good friends, Dr. Lee Aaron Keneally, runs a very large cancer clinic in California and Mexico, actually. She's had people come to her all the time. And, my other doctor gave me, 6 months to live, 12 months to live, gave him a death sentence. And she said, I'm going to treat you like you're going to live. All right. So she has one guy with testicular cancer. Had tried everything, chemo, radiation, every single therapy out there. Still was like bad. And she said, I don't know. Try watching a comedy movie every day for a month. Get back to me.
Yes.
You watch 2 comedy movies a day, every day for a month.
Yeah.
Cancer went away, gone.
Yep.
I can't find it after a month.
Yep.
So this is
Yep.
not medical advice, folks. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just saying that what Peter talks about, the mind leads and the body follows, is a real thing.
And the more I talk like this with people like you, Doug, the more people come back with stories like that. The lady over the road, I never would have believed it. My neighbour for many years, 20 years, she used to have an aeroplane. The aeroplane fell out of the sky and it broke her spine, and they said, you'll never walk again. And she just, I don't believe that. And she got herself up, and you never would believe it. I tell somebody else, he tells me a story about he was confined to a wheelchair at age 16. He's now 36. He's not in a wheelchair. As soon as you start opening up, people start to tell you of their own backstory, which they're afraid to tell you because it's a strange world we live in.
It is very strange.
So that this is happening all the time.
Mm-hmm. Let me add to one thing just to help you out a little bit in terms of something that someone can do. And I'm just going to use my personal journey on this because I switched off the news as a habit 20, 30 years ago. I hadn't watched broadcast news since 9/11. I'd watch it for a few days then. But I remember during the pandemic when it first came out, I wasn't watching the news. I clicked on forget it. But I was on social media. And I had trained my algorithm to only give me what I wanted. Right, I didn't have a lot of stuff that was negative there, so I thought I was doing okay, but business, like, nothing happened for like a month and a half. I didn't have a single client. I'm positive. I'm not watching the news. I mean, what's going on here? But I was on social media, and I went for a walk one day into a bike ride into nature. And nothing to do, no internet, nothing. Just I'm like, oh, those birds aren't affected by COVID. Those trees don't know what a coronavirus is. I'm going to stay here. This is a good bubble. I can't really live out in the woods. I got bills to pay. I can bring people here. But I had this idea. I'm like, you know what? Even though I'm not getting negative news, I'm getting some inputs that's affecting my energy. Yeah. And I knew it's a habit. You're not affected by the habit, but I'm susceptible to addictions, scrolling and looking at stuff. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
So I knew it would be hard for me just to delete my app, and then because I put it back on again a couple days later, I called my social media manager up. I said, hey, Ken, I want you to change my password on all my social and don't give it to me for 30 days. I had to force myself to detox on things that I didn't think were affecting me, but I kind of felt they were. And I did it for 30 days, didn't have anything to look at. Nobody told me what was going on in the world. So my joy, of course, was more pure. It wasn't just forced. And business picked up after that, of course. So in terms of things to do, folks, Peter's right. Be positive, look at the right side of things, but also you are being impacted. You're being brainwashed by everything that's around us. Good, bad, negative, doesn't matter. Try nothing. Try absolutely nothing and see what happens. That's my advice.
Not only that, we have a collective consciousness. This is a bit woo-woo, but we definitely do. And you have a country consciousness. You have a city consciousness. And you're creating, and the more you listen to violence and corruption, and the more you're playing a part in it, and the more these are conversations I have with people all the time now. They tell me something's just happened. Yeah, okay, great. Let's not share that. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep, because we are creating everything around us. It's so fundamental to the way I think every day now.
Right. And it's you know, I've had discussions about this with people. It's like, oh, don't you want to know what's going on in the world? I'm like, yes and no. I mean, am I in a bubble? Yeah. Does it make me dumb or ignorant? Yeah, maybe, but maybe I'm not being brainwashed. And you know, I go back and forth on this because I obviously I'm back on social now. I do it, but I don't. I have a new app. I forgot what it's called, but it blocks my feed. So when I go on to Facebook, there's nothing there. I can only message people for business and whatnot. Okay. If I really want to go, I go to my phone, my iPad, and I can look. But I really do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems woo-woo to be the collective consciousness, but it's undeniable when you look at movements that happen in the country and the world.
Exactly.
There, somebody is maybe pulling strings on what we're supposed to think and feel and do.
Exactly. Right? And if you buy into it, you become part of it. You become part of the machine that's creating that negativity. Yeah. Yeah, I love that Simon and Garfunkel. I get all the news I need from the weather report. I remember that lyric. It's a great lyric.
That's good. Yeah. So in terms of your book, so you authored this book. Hold it up again so people can see it. We're going to talk about your book for a minute and close up. Thrive After 60, How to Live Your Best Life in Retirement and Have Financial Freedom. So obviously money's a big concern. I'm guessing you don't lead with that. You probably lead with the energy part and everything all holistic, or what? Tell me more of the structure of the book.
When I talk about staying physically well, I talk about the mental part and this positivity. However, I talk about exercises that you can do, and I walk and I do gardening, and you know what I mean? I'm still practical in the book. I'm not just going, stay up here in the woo-woo. If you want to benefit from some exercise, I'll show you. And if you want to be, where are we going? If you want to be wealthy, you've got to treat money in a different way that you've been treating it until now. And you've got to just think differently and think positively. But here's some positive things you should be doing. If you're over 60, you might want to think about your outgoings. You do a P&L on your business, and so a profit and loss. Just in case there's something you're missing about then you might want to think about what savings you've got, if you have any. And then you might want to think, so I'd give practical advice on wealth management first, and then say, however, if you're like me and you know what poverty is, then let's start from scratch and I'll show you how to earn money. Yeah. And I'd give ideas on entrepreneurship. And I call that chapter Your Next Entrepreneur, I've even forgot what I call it, but it's not about just saying to people, think differently about money. I do give practical tips on how to make money, side hustles, or whatever it is you want to call it. But you could start a whole new enterprise at 60, couldn't you? You might live another 30 years. And if you don't think you're going to live another 30 years, you won't. But if you do think you're going to live another 30 years, you almost certainly will.
Yep. I did a book for a longevity expert who only looks at new technology, and he never looks backwards, he looks forwards. And I interviewed him for his book. It took us, a good 6-7 months to interview him for everything. I was 60 at the time interviewing him, and, I'm thinking, oh, well, my parents made it to their 90s. I got 30 left, whatnot. I'm talking to him and learning about his methodology, his mindset, his technology, his pharmaceutical stuff. Everything he's got is brilliant stuff. And he says, well, I'm going to go to 140.
Wow.
He said without blinking, without batting an eye. And after spending a year with him, when he said 140, my brain said 120. because I'm a little older than him, I figured, whatever.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said that, Peter, I mean, I don't know. I get people telling me all the time, well, you don't talk like you're 65, Doug. I don't feel like I am either. Whatever that means. I mean, I think I got a whole nother life ahead of me,
Yeah, you have.
So, unless a bus hits me, but well, you can do what you can do.
Yeah. My father, the alcoholic, died at 56. I believe I'm going to hit 96.
Yes, of course you can. I'll go
Easily.
97. My dad made 97. Go 97. Make it 100.
Yeah.
Even number.
We get a birthday card from the royal family when we hit 100, so
Oh, nice.
I'm almost certainly going to do that.
We generally used to get a shout out on a TV show with a broadcaster. Hey, listen, hold the book up more time. We're going to close up the show here and say, hey, if you're 60, you're going to be 60 someday or after it. You want to thrive at 60. This is the book for you. Peter Dickinson is the man. You won't be disappointed. Hey, parting words, Peter.
Yeah, I think Doug is right there. You won't be disappointed. There's lots to do in this book, lots the way to help you. I decided that it was something to help all of humanity, but I wanted to niche it into somebody over 60 because I could start there. My next book will be aimed at 4-year-olds, believe it or not. It will be a story about how we're creating our own reality because I think we get it drilled out of us at school.
I love that. Good for you. Peter Dickinson, folks, check it out. There's links below for his book and the contact information. And have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us, Peter. Appreciate
Thank you so much. I've loved it. Thank you, Doug.
You bet.
Take care,
have a good day.
Take care, my
folks.
friend.
Thank you for joining the show today. If you didn't take notes, they're below. And download those for your enjoyment and get Peter's book. I'm sure you're going to appreciate it. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye-bye.